Fred! Woo!
Welcome to Katy Needs a Podcast, the official Katy Needs a Life podcast, brought to you by beer.
Alcohol.
Alcoholism.
This week, we're going to talk to you about movies, specifically because we're going to try to do a movie night, and we don't know what to watch. We all brought a handful of movies along, and we're going to talk about them and why we think that our movie should be the movie that we all watch together. So we'll need your help at the end of it. But before we get into that, let's all introduce ourselves. My name is Katy. I am the awesome. With me, as always, are Reggie Page.
Surf's up, buddy.
We got that Jake Simmons.
Hello.
And there's David.
Hi, I lost the thing I'm looking for.
Damn.
I know.
Yeah.
Damn.
Emotionally or?
Both. Yeah, it was a physical object I'm very emotional about.
I have two movies, so I can go first with one of them. And the first movie that I'm going to choose is the heavier of my two movies. It's called The Class of 1984. I don't know if I would necessarily recommend this to anyone, but I watched it this week, and I got to tell you, it is crazy. Let's just check out the trailer really quick.
Class of 1984.
Okay, this already looks fucking awesome.
That worked.
Is it for? Okay.
Class of 1984. Their only goal is power.
I run this school.
Fuck yeah.
Their only law is survival.
If you want to survive around here, you have got to learn to look the other way.
Their only allegiance is to themselves.
Still believe in all that bullshit that holds it together?
Is this just Warriors?
No, it's like,
But like,
it's not.
in high school,
Like this. Hey, look what he done, man! He tried to kill me!
yeah!
This insanity. Are you simply
Yeah!
bored to fail this class?
That was awesome.
Answer. I am the future.
Fucking headbutt and mirror.
I am the future. I am the future.
But you've taught before and nothing like this has ever happened.
All right, I gotta deal with it.
Who's gonna protect you? We're gonna play some more later.
Heavy skeleton.
He's one man trained to deal with students, but they've pushed him to the limit. They've gone too far. Now he's going to give the class of 1984 the lesson they deserve. Class of 1984. Is this the future?
Just murdering high school students.
I mean,
We love to see it. This came out in 82.
all right.
Yep.
So y'all ever heard that movie, The Substitute?
Yeah.
This looks like that, but like way fucking cooler.
Okay, so this is what I would characterize as like a power violence movie. It is incredibly violent.
I like power violence.
Basically, the premise is that this young teacher gets hired in at this inner city school where like gangs kind of run this shit, and like the main character, his name is like, hold on, I took notes.
It's Kyle,
It's
Kevin.
Peter.
Petey.
Peter.
I was hoping Chaz for the 80s. I was hoping there was a Chaz as the name.
Jamiroquai.
Like,
Yeah, Jamiroquai. The future is so. Don't you want it? Say anything? I don't remember any more words. Sorry.
The guy, I forgot what his like last name is, but his first name is Peter. Anyway, he's like this little rich kid who's like all punk rock and he sells like heroin and PCP and stuff. Like it is intense. Apparently, when writing the movie, they were referencing a lot of things that they had seen in the news recently and just kind of merged it together into this incredibly violent thing. Like you could
Cool.
see in the trailer how like there's a scene where one of the teachers is pointing a gun into a student's face, and apparently that was one of the scenes that was based almost entirely on a true story that they had just read in the paper a few weeks before writing it. It is intense. But yeah, then eventually at the end of the movie, the big climactic point is that the students break into his house, they violate his wife, they abduct her, they take pictures of it, and he's doing a band concert because he's a band teacher, and a student comes up and gives him a picture of what they just did, and then he makes it look so fucking easy as he goes through and murders all of the students one by one.
He's like
And
John Wick's the shit out of them.
yeah, and like the whole time he's like trying to get these kids in trouble, and they're like, we can't catch them because we haven't caught them red-handed. And at the end of the movie, it's like he murders all of these kids, and then it just ends, and there's just text saying he was never prosecuted because no one ever saw anything.
Isn't this also kind of the premise of Mandy?
Kind of. It's like I think a lot of movies that are kind of that like power violence thriller type of movie are like that.
Revenge fantasy kind of stuff.
Wasn't there like a Samuel L. Jackson teacher kills a student movie too, like 187 or something? I think it was.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Sounds fucking cool.
Like this movie was so violent that it didn't like they had trouble finding a distributor for the US. It was pretty popular in Europe, but it was like a box office flop. I don't think it made anywhere close to $1 million when it hit the box office here. And Michael J. Fox is in it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he plays like there was something complicated about it. Like he was trying to get into the Film Actors Guild and he had to change his name to Michael J. Fox, but in his early stuff he was billed as Michael Fox.
Oh, that doesn't sound right at all.
I know.
Mikey Fox.
You
Sounds
can't
funny.
have it can't be Michael Fox. It's against regulations. You gotta have a
Oh,
letter
yeah.
in the center.
It's
Mikey Fox.
Mikey Fox.
Let me see if I wrote
Mikey
down.
Fox. See.
Okay, the director of the movie is Mark L. Lester, who's best known for Commando and Firestarter.
Commando.
I don't know if you've seen.
Commando.
I was way more excited about Firestarter, like the young Drew Barrymore starting.
I mean,
Fires with
Firestarter's
Mine.
fucking great. That movie's
Wasn't
awesome.
that a Stephen King book?
I think.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The director considers this his best film.
I like the sound of this director.
This is where I should have like read up on the movie before watching it, because if I had known this, I probably wouldn't have watched it. He said that it was inspired by A Clockwork Orange. So
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. What is it?
but yeah, so that's one of my picks. Jake, you have 2 picks, right?
Ish, yeah. I had, yeah.
All right. Well, let's start with your more current one. Which one is that?
I think they're probably equally as current. Let's do Wet Hot American Summer though.
We're going to start with the trailer. Blah, blah.
How hot and wet is it?
And how's summer? Like, is it almost autumn?
This summer, take a trip back to 1981 with the special people who made summer camp.
Oh shit, we're going back in time. Shit.
You guys aren't supposed to be out of your bunk.
Yeah.
You're in trouble.
The camp director.
Party.
4 campers are stuck in the ropes course. I meant to tell you about that yesterday. Could you get to it now?
The counselors.
Wait for me, Abby Bernstein. Wait for me, my darling.
Wait. I just want to take off my shirt.
The kitchen staff.
Finish up the taters. I'm gonna go fondle my sweaters.
Come on, what?
You said you were gonna go fondle your sweaters. No, I didn't.
The water sports.
Hey, Andy, can I take out the water boat?
Sure.
The nature hikes.
Out! Out!
And of course, who can forget the sex, the muggings, the cover-ups, the malaria, the psychotherapy.
Hello.
and the friendships that last a lifetime.
We want you to be the guest of honor at our wedding next week.
From USA Films and creators of TV's The State.
A renegade piece of Skylab's heading right for the camp.
Oh my God.
It could kill us all.
Janine Garofalo, David Hyde Pierce, Paul Rudd, Christopher Maloney, and Molly Shannon.
Andy, have you seen my swimming buddy?
I was busy.
It's your job to make sure kids don't drown. Where are we going?
To a big secret pizza party?
Wet, hot American summer.
I love that fucking movie.
I do too.
Especially around the time that it came out, or probably a couple years after is when I saw it. It's like peak teendom for me. I feel like the preview doesn't do the goofiness of that movie justice. Did
No.
David explode?
I don't know,
I
David.
exploded. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can still
Yeah.
hear you.
Okay, I'm figuring it out.
I'm gonna superimpose a funny face of you here.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I love that movie. I remember the first time I saw it, I was in like 8th grade and I felt so uncomfortable by it because I was like hanging out with my friend and her mom was there and thought it was like so funny and stuff. And it's like raunchy. Like that's one thing, one descriptor I can think. But it brought me such delight a few years ago when they made the show and then they did like the behind the scenes stuff of the like movie and all of that. And I think that it's really funny how I don't know. I always just really liked the Stella trio a lot.
Yeah,
and a lot
me
of the
too.
people that are in it, it's like, so funny.
Yeah, I think that's probably why a lot of my friends wanted to watch it. So they must have. So we probably watched it after Stella happened. So I'm not sure when I originally saw this, but it's so fucking stupid, and I don't know. I don't know if it's considered a B movie at this point or anything, but it's just impossible to take seriously.
I mean, I don't remember it being in theaters, but I was really young when it came out and I wouldn't have been able to see it in theaters, but
It came out in 2001. So I would have been like 13.
I would have been like 10. There's so many things about that movie that are so funny because it's so satirical of all of the 80s movies about camp put together. And I love the whole genre of camp. I didn't think that I did. And then I met David, and David made me watch a whole bunch of really campy movies. And then like revisiting Wet Hot American Summer as an adult was a lot more fun. I don't know.
There's a lot of campy movies about camp. That's weird. There's like, have you ever seen the movie Camp? It's like really good, and it's about a drama camp. But yeah, I advise seeing that.
I think my favorite thing about the movie is the fact that all these people that are playing 15 and 16-year-olds are between like 26 and 31. Also, Christopher Maloney is the other.
I mean, would you actually want to book like an actual like 16-year-old?
Which makes it better when they go and do the TV. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. When the TV show that came out 15 years later was meant to take place 2 months before this, and they're all in their 40s and 50s and shit.
I know. And like Michael Showalter is like noticeably more out of shape.
I love Michael Showalter,
He's specifically great.
Okay, Michael Showalter is so great. David made me watch this movie called The Baxter. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, it's about like in all the rom-coms, whenever like there's the big scene where the person's about to get married and then the other person that's in love with them busts through the door and they're like, wait, like the Baxter's the guy that's like left at the altar when they run off. So the movie's sort of about him. It's really good. But he kind of becomes a Baxter. Well, not a Baxter, the opposite. Yeah, it's a good movie.
I mean, it kind of sucks because I think that Baxter is like the cutest little name for a little boy, but I don't want to set
I
him
thought
up.
it was a rabbit name.
I count it as a dog name.
Can be a lot of things. It's a name. It could be a filing cabinet name.
Cool.
Yeah.
Would you like to see my new?
Can't see it.
Would you like to see my Baxter?
I think that Wet Hot American Summer would be a really good contender for our movie night. Does anyone have any final thoughts on that movie? Any fun facts about it? I didn't have a chance to research this one.
The only fun fact I have is when they were shooting it, since they actually all stayed at the camp and everything, they had to shut down shooting for like a week or so because the camp was scheduled to have an actual bar mitzvah, I think it was, for some kid. So they just had to hang out and chill while some kid had his bar mitzvah.
That's perfect for a whole camp full of comedians to have to surrender their time for a bar mitzvah.
Right? And there's so many hilarious people in that movie. Not the least of which is like peak snackdom Paul Rudd.
I know.
Just being a fucking turd.
I know. He's so funny in that movie. It's like he's like the stereotypical hot guy and stuff. Yeah. Oh my God. And I don't know if he actually makes an appearance in the movie or if it's just in the show, but like H. John Benjamin. Yeah, was he in the movie?
I was trying to think about this before we started, but I didn't have enough time to go back and watch it. I don't think he originally was the voice in the movie, but he was in the show.
I'm gonna just look and see what.
I hope he was, because that would just make it so much better to me. But
I forgot Bradley Cooper was in it too. I'm like looking. It's like an all-star cast. It's crazy.
Later on in either the show or the like much later movie or whatever it was, he was replaced by Adam Scott.
I love Adam Scott.
Yeah.
It says that H. John Benjamin was the can of vegetables in the movie as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
I mean, that is one of those things too, that when they carried on with the show and they kept the cast mostly the same, I really appreciated that because you like never see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was very shocked that Bradley Cooper came back.
I know. All right. Moving on. Reggie, do you want to go next?
Sure, why not?
All right. Which movie did you choose?
So earlier this week, like a couple days ago, they released a trailer for like, you know, a new Mortal Kombat movie. And I got all worked up about that because like.
Yeah, you did. I told Reggie about the Mortal Kombat trailer. Like I sent them a text and the aggression that I felt, the pure hostility and rage in the text message. I was like, I just shouldn't tell them stuff, I guess.
Wasn't there more than one Mortal Kombat
there's
movie?
I think there was like 3.
Really? I only saw the one.
I remember Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Yeah, and I think there was another one after Annihilation, but I don't remember.
I think I only ever saw the first one. I was very young when I saw it.
I only ever watched the first one, and actually I think I probably watched the second one. I just get them both mixed up because like it's literally the same thing.
What was that song? Wasn't it the bump 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 out of the
Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
But I'm not talking about Mortal Kombat. Instead, I am talking about another movie based off of another 90s fighting game, Street Fighter. It's a movie.
It's a thing that happened. Let's watch the trailer.
After 7 months of fighting, the civil war in Shadaloo may have reached the turning point. The capital has just fallen.
In December 1994, the forces of freedom will face a power-mad dictator in a struggle for the fate of the world.
Is all that footage from the movie? I don't remember this.
Oh man. Ken.
Everybody's favorite character, Ken. Yeah.
It's cool. I'm going to kick Bison's ass.
I'm going to kick.
You'll have to do better than that.
Okay. Now, who wants to go home and who wants to go with me?
This trailer tells you anything. You got Bison, and he's Gomez Adams, right?
That was Gomez?
Yeah,
dude.
Yes,
fucking
yes,
Gomez
Gomez
Adams. Cammy is played by fucking Kylie Minogue.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't catch any of that.
And then like Chun-Li is played by Ming-Na Wen, who like she plays like Agent May and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She was in Mandalorian, like a bunch of other stuff. She's a badass.
What year did this come out?
94.
same year as, just a fun fact, Ace Ventura, The Mask, and what was the other one, David?
Ace Ventura, The Mask, and Dumb and Dumber were all released in the same year.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, I know. That's like 3 hit movies.
I was alive during that year, and I definitely went and saw like at least 2 of those in theaters, but I now looking back don't realize it was even the same year.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I read some fun facts, and like Van Damme was only cast because of his likeness to Giles, like his physical likeness. It didn't matter that he didn't have an American accent or
That was my favorite fucking part. That's my favorite fucking part. So you got this like super American character with like a fucking American flag tattooed on his arm. That accent is not American whatsoever, and it's incredible.
And like when it comes to Kylie Minogue, I was telling Reggie before we got started that she was cast last. The director was on his way to the shoot in Thailand to start filming the movie and hadn't cast her role, and saw her in a magazine and was like, that's the one. So that's how that fell into place.
I feel like if The Room was an action movie based off of a video game, this would be the movie.
Capcom wanted to use all 16 characters from Street Fighter.
They fucking should have.
They were really pushing for it. They really wanted to make it work, but the director didn't see how that could work. It was too much to add to the story to be able to make sense of every character and have the audience be like able to carry along with the story and stuff. So he pitched to the writers or to Capcom that they should choose 7 characters, and based his whole thing off of how everything it comes in 7s, like the 7 dwarves and 7 wonders and the 7 samurais. And Capcom was like, I haven't actually seen this movie, so
it's good. It's a movie.
I watched the whole thing, and I didn't get angry at the TV one
and
time.
you have to watch it again tonight.
I'm actually totally okay with this now. I have put myself through the torture. It's fun. I don't know. It's definitely a bad movie. Like it's definitely one of those like they're basically cashing in off the fact that they made a Mortal Kombat movie, and it was like, well shit, we should make a movie about this other fighting game.
I wonder if there's ever a Tekken movie.
See, I was talking to Katy the other day, and I think they should go with a Killer Instinct fucking movie.
Yeah, Clay Fighter. You remember Clay Fighter?
Yeah, buddy. Or fucking Shaq Fu.
Yeah.
No, I take back everything I just said. Shaq Fu. I want a Shaq Fu movie.
I played that. I remember like being super excited for that coming out for some reason, and then getting it when it like renting it right when it came out. And it was a thing that existed for some reason. I don't. Yeah, it wasn't very good.
Oh, that game was so hard because everyone was like that big. Like look at the TV and you're like, I need fucking glasses. Am I kicking your ass or are you kicking my ass? I can't really tell.
I mean, for what it's worth, I think that there is a fun opportunity to cash in on fighting games as action movies because, like, there's a lot that you can do. There isn't much of a storyline that's locked in with the game. So you can have fun as long as you stay in canon loosely. Or you can J.J. Abrams the shit out of it and just make it your own thing. I don't know.
You could Michael Bay the shit out of it and put explosions fucking everywhere.
I think that's the route to go. So we'll have to see how this new Mortal Kombat plays out because, like, I don't know if y'all noticed, you have to say that you're at least 18 on YouTube just to watch the thing.
Really?
Oh, man.
Yeah,
So
it's so violent.
I had this idea for like how they could make a Mortal Kombat movie that would actually make more sense. So they got to make it like it's like a UFC like mockumentary or some shit, right? But like it's like a mockumentary with like the most fucking gore ever. And I think it'd be great.
David, you're
I love
next.
that.
What movie did you choose?
Oof. I chose Nowhere, which was a 1996 Greg Araki film.
All right, y'all ready for this?
I take my camera with me wherever I go, trying to find my soulmate. I know there's got to be somebody out there somewhere.
Isn't that just so bitchin'?
Bitch.
Dark! I have to rot my life away in a 9-to-5 hellhole to support your lazy, juvenile delinquent.
Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up! How now, brown cow? Cowboy.
Oh my god.
Becky,
Let the love juice
look
begin.
at her.
Feels old-fashioned. There's got to be somebody out there somewhere who can hold me in their arms and tell me everything's going to be okay.
Fine Line Features presents the new movie from Greg Araki, director of The Living End and The Doom Generation.
LA is like nowhere. Everybody who lives here is lost.
Do you know what today is? It's Armageddon Day, the day the world's supposed to end.
Have I ever told you that I love you? Life is so complicated.
James Duvall, Christina Applegate, Nathan Bexton, Rachel True, Jason Simmons, Kathleen Robertson, Jeremy Jordan, Heather Graham, Tracy Lords, and John Ritter.
And John Ritter.
Yeah.
Nowhere.
Now
You feel so much better. Whatever.
Whatever.
I recognize so many of those names and didn't recognize any of the people.
But it also has Ryan Phillippe and Mira Savani, or whatever her name is, and then Christopher Knight, who played Greg Brady. And yeah, it's like a post-90s satire made in the 90s about like a very specific scene in Los Angeles, but it's not like a I don't know. It's like at the time making fun of it. It's weird, but it's just sort of maximum existential dread. The like world's kind of ending and everything sucks, and you know it's weird. There's I don't know. Yeah, it's good. There's a lot of lines like would you like to go rollerblading? I'd rather burn my bald hairs off with an acetylene torch. Or or hey, that's my mom's car. Thanks for the bitchin' wheels, bitch. there's just a lot of good lines.
Oh man, I like the sound of this.
Yeah,
the movie is seriously such fun. It's like I don't always know how to feel about this director's stuff because it is like such dark humor, and this one was a little bit easier to digest than Doom
it's
Generation.
So over the top and satirical.
It's
like
so over the top.
So over the
and
top.
James Duvall, the like main dude in the movie,
whose character's name is Dark, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your name? My name's Dark.
And like the whole time, his face is like,
and they're all in high school. It's like
oh, so it's like that one movie with the vampires and the one girl that doesn't have facial expressions.
It honestly feels like there's like the pop side of the 90s, which so pretend This is like the dark bondage side of the 90s, and this is like the pop Spice Girls side of the 90s, okay? Here's Clueless, here's Nowhere. It's like the opposite of Clueless.
I'm like in that void that just drops between the two.
Yeah, this is the
Like,
Kinsey scale of
we got this
90s
and we got
teen
this, and
movies.
everything else in the middle is shit.
Dude, I don't know.
Shit.
Like, there is a lot of sex and a lot of violence in it.
But there's like a lot of sex, but there's not any nudity. There's violence, but it doesn't really show anything too. It's weird, like except at the end.
Well, there is like a part that is harder to watch.
Yeah. Okay. So there is a scene of sexual assault that's pretty hard, and it's pretty heavy.
Why do they always go over the top with the sex and violence on the scenes that like no one really wants to watch?
That's the thing. There is a speaking of that, there is a Ryan Phillippe's character literally just has sex with Heather Graham while screaming about murder. That's all his character does, and he's in it throughout. And then his twin sister has like feels sensations when he does, so she's perpetually sleeping with this guy who's like, do you remember the character from the Old Spice commercials who's like always on a horse or a motorcycle? It's basically this guy, but he also just screams about murder all the time. It's the ending. Should I talk about the ending? Because the ending's probably the craziest part.
The ending is so fucking funny, but it's like something. No, I don't think you should, because I think that's like a very huge spoiler that people have to see. Like, the movie is so ridiculous, and you're not expecting what is going to happen at the end. And like,
of the things you could expect to be this ending, even the most far-fetched one, it is not at all what you're expecting to be the ending of the movie.
I felt like this one was pretty fun, and it's like they really don't show anything. They just imply a lot. And there are some scenes that are a little bit more like crazy, but it's like the actors are so over the top with their facial expressions and with their actions and stuff that it's like really, really fun to watch. And I don't know, like, I don't necessarily love everything. I think I need to revisit Doom Generation now.
Doom Generation has so many great lines too, like "eat my fuck" and
yeah, eat my fuck.
Yeah, his dialogue is amazing. Oh, we didn't even talk about the soundtrack. Okay, so the best part of Greg Araki's films are the soundtracks are amazing, and like this one is like, I mean, you have like it starts off with a Slow Dive song, and there's like Verve and Catherine Wheel and like Massive Attack and Nine Inch Nails. And yeah, it's just all of like the 90s kind of obscure, I guess at the time, stuff. And it's really good. Really good soundtracks. Sort of like The Crow in soundtrack realms. It's like a dark Clueless if you combined it with the Crow soundtrack.
It's really colorful too.
Yeah, it's really colorful. Yeah, the shots are crazy. The shots are really, the sets are insane.
Everything is a metaphor. Everything. And
everything is like a non-veiled metaphor. It's like if you could come up with the most cliche teenage metaphor, but it's like maximum cliche metaphors that are not veiled. Like it's just like right, like says so on someone's shirt.
Two of the characters are named What and Ever, and they're just wearing like tube tops that say What and Ever.
Fucking Halloween costume ideas.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to describe really what, I mean, I guess the whole movie is they're about to go play a game of kick the can before going to a graduation party. I guess that's the story. Yeah.
Jeez.
That was a graduation party?
Yeah, it was a graduation party.
Up next on our list is Tremors.
Yeah.
Nevada.
Go, go!
There's a whole lot of shaking going on.
Can't run a business where your customers get eaten.
Tremors 3, back to perfection.
Gross.
This time, they've mutated into the perfect killing machine.
Freeze. Graboid? Are you kidding? For real?
Now, only
one team can stop these beasts. Michael Gross returns as Burt Gummer, obsessed survivalist.
People call me Paradox.
Jack Sawyer, trusted sidekick.
You do know which end the bullets come out of?
I've seen movies.
Jody Chang, second-generation grocer.
So this is really serious.
I keep trying to tell you.
Second generation
Are we, though?
roaster.
These three warriors.
Are we though?
Face the ultimate challenge.
Not when there's tremors. I mean,
Not when we're in the ocean.
or when there's tremors.
That's why
Or
we're
Sand
on the
ocean.
food chain.
Ocean. Lotion.
I feel like there was the original Tremors movie, which obviously Kevin Bacon is in, and it was treated as like more of a serious movie. And then the second one, Kevin Bacon didn't come back, but they still kind of tried, I think. The third one, Burt Gummer, who was like a B player in the original movie, and Reba's not back, his wife, you know, it's just this fucking guy. And they choose this fucking guy who was such a small part of the original movie.
I feel like
to carry on the entire franchise.
I feel like he's the Randy Quaid of that franchise.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, what if there was an Independence Day spinoff where it was just Randy Quaid's backstory? Like, honestly, I think I'd be into that. I'd be really into that.
Oh man.
I really enjoy the Tremors series because it's just like super fun. Like they do start to like I thought that the first one was really like campy. Like they weren't taking it like super seriously.
Yeah, that's true. But they really give up on taking it seriously. Like it goes into just a stupid action dumbass realm in the third one with the introduction of like a mutated version of the Tremors called Ass Blasters, and they like rear up and they fucking fart fire and it makes them fly, which they didn't show you in the preview, but it's just phenomenal. And then later on in the like fifth and sixth one, I think Jamie Kennedy gets involved as like the secondary character, or yeah, I think so. And then in the last one, John Heater is one of the main characters.
Nice.
The one that just came out. Yeah.
I can't believe there's 7 of them now. That's so crazy to me.
Listen,
yeah,
I was it was like either HBO or Amazon. I think it was Amazon because like Amazon's selection of B movies is just absurd. I was going through there and what was it? It was so there was like there's been like so many Sharknado movies.
Yeah, it's weird because like we go through our lives and time passes by, but people are making tremors throughout this.
Well, there's a movie called fucking Clownnado.
What?
It's like Sharknado, but with fucking clowns instead of sharks.
That's horrifying. That's actually scary.
That's legitimately kind of terrifying. Even if it's dead clown bodies just plopping down everywhere, that's still fucking scary shit.
Well, and I think that there's something kind of fun about movies like Tremors that they're creating this kind of cryptid that lives in the desert here. And it's like the snow or the sandworm and Beetlejuice.
Like
I
the
always
fucking
thought
Mongolian deathworm, which is like supposedly a thing.
What?
There's this cryptid. It's the Mongolian deathworm.
Sounds like a metal band.
It should be.
Will be.
But like, yeah, it mostly lives in deserts, and it's like so fucking infested with like venom that like if it fucking touches you, you will die an excruciating death. But it's just a cryptid. Like no one's ever actually found a real one.
But do they fart fire that make them fly?
I fucking hope so.
I mean, I would imagine that if they're still around that they've evolved, you know. Drink much?
My first beer.
Yeah, you have a drinking problem.
Probably
I don't have any problem drinking.
This is probably my like 15th beer since last March. Since all this came crashing down.
This is probably my 15th beer I'm setting down on this desk.
When I was a kid, I saw a part of this movie and I remember it being like two teenage girls in a mall and the world had ended. And that was all I remembered about it. And I thought that I had just made it up. And so I never really brought it up. And then I joined this incredibly strange film group on Facebook. And somebody recommended this movie to me. And
Can you invite me to that group, please?
I will, because it's pretty fun.
That sounds great.
Yeah. Here. Well, I'll do it when we get off. Okay.
Yeah.
So this movie is called Night of the Comet, and it's pretty fun.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Did you ever wonder what it would be like to be one of the last people on Earth?
We're talking Ghost Town!
Who would you see?
There's nobody. I mean, there's nobody.
What would you do?
Hey, I'm sorry if the end of the world makes me a little nervous.
Where would you go?
The stars are open!
Well, get ready to find out, because the comet is coming into your orbit.
The legal drinking age is now 10, but you will need ID. Let's be real.
It's the Night of the Comet.
What do you give me if I come back?
Texas?
Night of the Comet.
I'll be taking requests from all you teenage comet zombies.
The night the teenagers ruled the world.
Yeah!
Night of the Comet.
Is that the original Last Man on Earth?
Isn't it? While you're watching these trailers, I figured out that I could swipe to the left and it cuts the audio from the trailer and it's just the four of you silently watching it.
What a fucking dick move, David. So, yeah. Okay. Night of the Comet is really fun. It's like there's this comet and it happens on Christmas. This is a Christmas movie.
Oh, shit. Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I got to watch it. I need more things to add to my list of favorite Christmas movies. So far, I got Gremlins, Santa's Sleigh, spelled S-L-A-Y.
With Goldberg.
Yeah.
I've never seen it, but I've seen that clip at dinner.
Which Goldberg?
It's so good.
Wait.
Bill Goldberg, the wrestler.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were talking. Okay, there's a lot of like Whoopi Goldberg, and
there's this comet that people can go out and look at on Christmas. And so there are all of these big parties happening and everybody's outside except for like the two girls and a handful of other people who are inside like steel confinements or whatever. So they survive and everyone else is vaporized. And the few that are left are like mutated zombie people. And they're like really violent and stuff. And like these two girls, like their dad is in the military, so they know how to use guns and stuff, but they're also like airhead teenagers. And the younger sister is like real dumb. And they had like no budget and it ended up being a huge flop. It came out in 1984, like the same year as Gremlins and stuff.
The same year I came out.
Same year as Reggie.
I found out like all kinds of fun facts about the movie. Let me get up to my notes.
Wasn't it Haley's Comet?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. So they probably made it before then. It's like the movie 2012 where like after it happens, it's just kind of like, huh.
The production design is based off of a comic book, so it's like really vibrant colors and the like zombie people are supposed to look like illustrations of zombies with like their color palettes and stuff. So that's kind of interesting. And Joss Whedon actually cited this as a big influence for his original film script of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which was rebooted as the show in 1997. When the cheerleader Sam is playing the radio, she says she's taking requests from all you Teenage Mutant Comet Zombies, which was the working title to the movie.
It would have been kind of lame if she like called up the movie title in the movie.
Teenage Mutant Human Zombies.
It's like calling out the band name in a song or something.
Well, all the scenes of Los Angeles that are like empty scenes are seriously cuts of when people were stopped at traffic lights. Like they had no budget to close down streets or anything, so they had to be really quick about it.
It's just traffic cam footage.
And then what makes it kind of cool too is that like when they were writing the screenplay, they asked actual teenagers for their input of what they would do if the world ended. And so that's kind of a fun thing. And I mean,
It took them a surprisingly long time to start looting. Like, if I went outside and it was just piles of dust and clothes everywhere and people are gone, I'd start looting pretty fast.
Oh yeah, I'm going to.
Yeah.
Okay, and they did,
and the power still works and water still works and stuff. Yeah, definitely.
and they did stupid stuff. So there's this scene where like the star, her name is also Reggie, Reg for short. So she's like, she made love to her boyfriend in the projection room at the theater that she worked in, and then he left and gets mugged by a zombie right away.
Fuck.
Yeah, and
Berserker.
so she like walks out of the theater and she gets locked out and she goes into the alleyway and she spots her boyfriend's keys to his motorcycle and she's like, huh? And then the zombie dude like pops out and for some reason, she throws the keys behind her, and
she's like, "Stay back!" and throws the keys behind her, and it's like, "Why would you? You could drive away."
Because then has to get on the motorcycle and drive away, and she's like fumbling to get the keys and stuff, and it's just like, oh my god, it's like so funny.
Like, there's this point at the end of it where they're like moving on, and they're going out, and like the world's still filled with weird zombie things, but for some reason, all of the guns they've been collecting throughout the movie, they just throw in a garbage. And like, even one of the girls is like, "Hey, can I have one of those?" It's like, "Nah, we don't need them." Like, why would you throw away every gun in the zombie apocalypse in just the garbage?
We've now come to the point of the evening where we're going to draw this pod to a close. But before we do, how about we offer just a little bit of some unsolicited advice? Let's start with you, David.
I have to think about it.
Let's start with you, Jake.
Okay, my advice would be, if you're to watch a movie like Black Sheep or a movie like The Janitor, you might be inclined to think that all bad movies have an element of goodness to them. And that is not true. My piece of advice would be to never watch Donkey Punch.
My piece of advice would be that you need guns to fight zombies, so don't throw them in a trash bin.
Mine's gonna be, you don't want guns to fight zombies. They're too loud.
Good
You know what you want? You want a baseball bat. You want a fucking good solid ass baseball bat.
Like a crowbar.
I feel like a crowbar.
You can mod a baseball bat so much more than you can mod a crowbar.
I feel like both of those things.
You can reinforce a fucking baseball bat.
I feel like with both of those things, you're getting pretty close to the teeth, though. So I don't know how I'd feel. Maybe like a crossbow.
Okay.
I mean, crossbows are cool, but like ammunition.
Yeah, well, like you could make arrows, not crossbow arrows.
Okay.
Maybe a bow and arrow.
Okay, I got another idea.
And addle.
My advice is addles are fucking sick. That's my advice.
And I looked up how to make them. They're really easy to make.
You know, sometimes you just gotta get addle. Get addle. Up and addle.
Piddle paddle. Let's get addle.
Here's my advice, and it's the same every week. Be rad, stay cool, and always do the right thing. Have a fantastic week, and join us next time while we try not to laugh at shit that is clearly quite funny. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, yeah. Like, follow, and subscribe. Ring that bell to get notified whenever we post.
Smash
that subscribe.
My dog will love you more if you smash that subscribe.